Yiggity, and we are back. So y'all know Nancy Grace is still on the case, and we ain't letting it loose either. Plus, I'm around to make sure I check and make sure she ain't saying and doing nothing funny. I'm Jay Lava. I scour the internet so that you don't have to, and we finna just dip right on into this Nancy Grace interview.
I have no doubt that what we're listening to and what she did is credible.
Not only has the timeline been analyzed by the Cajun Navy, the U.S. Cajun Navy, based on all sorts of statistical data, new photos are emerging. Take a look at this photo before we go to the Cajun Navy. Look at this. Check out what you're seeing. Look at all the boats surrounding where Nolan was. Leave up the photo out to Caitlin Becker, senior national correspondent, New York Post, star of New York Postcast, their new podcast. Caitlin, what are we seeing?
Well, what we're seeing here comes from this new report from the United Cajun Navy, and you're seeing several boats strung together. This is one of the first images that we've seen of this certain configuration of boats there. They're all identified, one of which was the boat that Nolan came out there on. There's several others kind of anchored with it and tied up, which begs the question of where was Nolan when this photo was taken, because it's unclear if he's actually in it. What time was this photo actually taken? So what you're seeing here is, as you said, a potential pool of witnesses.
Hey, Caitlin, look at this. There's boat number 1. There's boat X. There's boat number 2. There's boat number 3. And there's a boat from which the photo is taken. Now, look in the water. There much has been made. Nolan Wells was drinking. Okay, well, apparently everybody was. They all have containers, open containers in the water. Okay, as far as I know, that's not a felony. Boat number 1, full of people. Boat X, full of people. Boat number 2, full of people. Boat number 3, full of people. People on the boat from which the photo was taken. Some of these boats tied together. You know what that means in my world, Caitlin Becker, joining us from the New York Post? Let me see, Caitlin, please. That means witnesses. See, when I look at that, I see witnesses. Other people say, hey, there's people having a good time. I see witnesses. Do you see all those people?
And a lot of them.
Who were they? Have they been spoken to? Have they been polygraphed? What can they tell me?
That is the question, right? We don't know from an investigative standpoint who has been spoken to, exactly who is in this photo, and what they have or haven't told law enforcement, because there hasn't been really any transparency there. But from what our reporting has showed, there have been dozens of people who have spoken to law enforcement as witnesses. But Nancy, we don't know if it's any of these people that you're seeing in this little cove area right here. And the timing, I think, is really important, because these images are taken right around, I think the timeline's about 3:30-ish, 4:30-ish, when the boat that Nolan came out there on leaves and starts taking on water. That's one of the pegs for the timeline. When these photos were actually taken, that is a peg for a timeline. But what we don't know is where Nolan is. There he is. You can see that image right there. But we don't know is where Nolan was when that first image that we saw with all of those boats kind of tied together, when that was taken.
You are seeing a photo obtained by our friends at the United Cajun Navy. And speaking of the United Cajun Navy, joining me now is Brian Trasher, Vice President, United Cajun Navy. And for all of you attacking the United Cajun Navy, let's see that aerial footage they provided us. This is from the Cajun Navy describing their search, their aerial search. They spotted Nolan Wells' body. They have been integral in the search for Nolan Wells and helping elucidate the facts as we know them. Brace yourself, Trasher. Everybody else is getting death threats. You might as well join the party. To you, Brian Trasher, the United Cajun Navy has come up with a timeline. Now, did I hear Caitlin Becker from the New York Post correctly that that photo where the boats are named, Boat 1, Boat 2, Boat 3, and Boat X, Is that from you guys, the United Cajun Navy?
First of all, I want to thank you for calling this report what it is, and it's a timeline. And some people have called it an investigative report, and that's not accurate because, as you know, we're not investigators. And what we did, Nancy, was we asked our followers, say, hey, if anybody was there that day, you have pictures, videos, whatever, send it to us just so we can go through it, see if there's anything relevant. We took all that information and compiled it into just one digestible report of things we thought were relevant and could be helpful. Maybe they're not. Maybe law enforcement's already seen all this and it's nothing new to them. But we just wanted to be transparent about what we received. So going back to your question, the pictures that we received, we did not, as an organization, take any of these photographs. These are all images that we received from people who were trying to help us out and trying to help Nolan's family out.
So you asked the public for help, and you got it. You got a treasure trove of photos, and I find this one significant. Guys, we've got an all-star panel, and I would like the all-star panel to look at their screens, because I've talked about this before, Brian Trasher, and I'm frankly fed up with attacks on the United Cajun Navy. They're doing something, which is more than all of the haters can say. They're doing something. They have amassed evidence. They have created the timeline to the best of their ability. They have shared it with us, unlike the autopsy that is complete is being kept secret from us. That said, they're helping. Why trash them? That's, I'm not a shrink. I can't answer that. Let's look at this photo and determine what, if anything, we can discern. Brian, you and I have talked many, many times, and I told you about a serial killer I finally convicted on one case. The jury convicted him. And I proved a lot because of one earring I found in a particular location. The victim was wearing an earring, and the other earring had been sliced out of her ear, and I found it somewhere else, and I learned a lot because of where it was. Now, don't even bother to tell me that this photo that you have produced is not probative of something. The cluster of boats. Number one, I see a lot of witnesses. Trasher, do we know what time this photo was taken?
That's what I'm trying to figure out, Breeze.
We don't know definitively times on all these because even though they're time stamped, it could be a time when it was screenshotted stamped, not necessarily the original photograph. So we were very careful to denote that in our report that we can't verify
Karen, thanks for the jewels.
Although based on shadows and positions and things like that, we can determine that some of these, as noted, are taken in the late afternoon. One of the things I thought was interesting about some of these photos we got, Nancy, was that a lot of the photos we had seen before were people like in waist deep water. Well, some of the photos we provided show people up, water up to their chest, almost to their neck, and that's not really wading. That's treading water, in my opinion, and that I thought might have been significant to know that many people were, perhaps enjoying some libations, but also in water that might have been a little too deep just to be playing in.
Good point. You also said something else really smart, and I certainly do not want to rely on this, but sometimes you have to, you take the evidence as you find it, and you make the most of what you've got. You said you could tell this was late in the afternoon because of the shadowing. I wonder if the tide could tell me anything, because how high up the water is. But these people holding drinks, they're not treading water, Trasher. They're standing there. These people are not treading water, and the water is up to their armpits. Is that the photo you're talking about as to where you think some of them are treading water, or are there other photos?
The photo at the top, yeah, you're right. It's about up to their armpit. I think there was one later in the report that that showed some of the kids. This was a screenshot of a social media post, and there's 3 boats visible, one fourth boat further in the distance, but a lot of kids on one boat. I say kids, young people on one boat, some on the boat, some in the water. And some of them, it looks, maybe up to the armpit, but some of them, depending on their own height, it looks like it's, I could see a girl holding something in her hand, and the water looks to be pretty close to her neck. So that's pretty far out. Now, we've said several times that Horn Island has a very aggressive slope. So you can be in shallow water and deep water within just a few steps. And once you get into that deep water, you're not as able to keep your feet on the ground if a current comes and pulls you, or God forbid a riptide comes and drags you. So that's why we thought it was significant to know that they were socializing in fairly deep water.
Can we go back to the main photo where the boats are numbered 1, 2, 3, X? Isn't it true, Brian Trasher, that these boats are easily identifiable by I call it a tail number, like you would a plane? Every boat has to be registered or supposed to be registered. It has a number on it. It often has a name like Triton. One was named Mac Daddy. There were other names. They're registered, and you know who the owner is, and the owner can tell us who was on the boat that day. Is that correct?
Theoretically, yeah. If you can make out the registration number or the name of the boat, if the vessel's name is registered, along with the registration number. Usually that's sometimes only on a Coast Guard document, but sometimes on a state registration, you do put the vehicle, the boat name if it's asked for, or if you have one. So that is all possible. I'm told, and we're asked to compare notes with the sheriff's office, which we're doing. But I was told that there's been a lot of people that have been contacted and interviewed, and there's a lot of people who were there that day that voluntarily came forward to tell what they know, and because they might have seen their boats and pictures, said, "Oh, we might want to go ahead and call them and let them know, where we were, who was with us, and what we know." So I commend those people for coming forward, because it's not always easy.
To Marie Pereira joining us, in addition to the Vice President of the United Cajun Navy, who has been there from the get-go trying to help solve the case. Marie Pereira, registered nurse, which is important, but she is a criminal defense attorney and domestic violence expert. She is a violence expert certified advocate. Marie, you saw that. All those people in my book are witnesses. One of them is saying at 7:30, Nolan was nowhere to be seen. Now, I want to see the video or the photo again, because you want to tell me that this guy, Nolan Wells, hit his head and drowned, and none of those people saw what happened? I find that really hard to believe.
It is hard to believe, and that's why it's extremely important that the law enforcement are not too proud to get help from the public. Like you said, if people are sending in videos, they should be using those videos to conduct further investigation. I'm praying that this is a situation like Brian Koberger, where the police department, they were being ragged and being called ranky-dink police, while all the time they were investigating and putting together a case against him. I hope that because all the time they were saying, "Oh, what are they doing?" It was I think the DA had a long, big beard, which wasn't very conducive to believing he knew what he was doing, but they knew what they were doing.
I know, it looked like Leonard Skinner sitting there. Hey, that videos from Officer Tatum's podcast, all this means witnesses to me. And do you remember in the Diddy case, there was actually a toll-free number for victims to call? There were that many victims, not that it helped at the trial, but that said, I think there needs to be a toll-free number. If you think you have evidence, dial the number. If you have photos like the United Cajun Navy is doing, they asked for the public's help, they got the public's help, and there's more to get. That's what is needed now. Every picture, every video. How often have cases been cracked when someone spots something in a picture they hadn't noticed before, or their memory is jogged by a photo or information they've seen online? I've pointed to this a million times. Brian Trasher, the Gabby Petito case. Her body would never have been found if it weren't for amateur sleuths. I believe their name is Red, Blue, and Methane. They were a couple out in the middle of nowhere in dispersed camping where there are no porta potties, no lights, no hookups, no anything. It's just you and the wild animals. I've camped and dispersed before. They're out there and they see a vehicle and they go, that's Gabby's Ford Transit. And they call authorities who would never have gone to this dispersed camping area, and they find her remains. That's how the case was cracked. Who knows what photo, what tip United Cajun Navy or law enforcement or the Nolan Wells team might get that might crack this case wide open. So that said, Brian, how did you create this timeline? I find it very interesting.
So first of all, going back to your comment about internet sleuths, a lot of people consider themselves internet sleuths, but some people really are good. And there's one young lady who's helped us out on many cases, who was very helpful in this case. I haven't asked her permission yet if I could say her name, but if she gives me permission and I come back on, I'll be happy to give her credit for all the help she gave us. But basically, what we did was we took these pictures, we juxtaposed them to, like Google Earth and satellite pictures of the island to try to determine exactly where they were. We looked at the initial coordinates called out from the I think from the Coast Guard or from Marine Patrol when the missing persons report first went out, and basically just try to run these pictures against each other to say, okay, this boat's here now, it's not here later, and again, just create an index. We had to use some software to help us create the index of the pictures and make sure we put it into the best timeline we could. We included social media posts that, may or may not have been definitive, but this was happening in real time. So we thought it was important to put those up there to create context. And so again, just trying to, our goal was to take what we've received, put it into a digestible format that just about anybody could understand, hopefully. And if it's helpful, great. If it's not, then I don't think, no harm, no foul,
To Dave Mack, Crime Stories investigative reporter, based on this timeline, and it may be refined as the days go forward, how does it shift the timeline? Because there is a group of people fighting at 5 p.m. Who are they? The friends say they leave at 4:31. That should be able to be verified through GPS. 5 p.m. Nolan, according to them, is still at Horn Island. Is he? Because by 7:30, witness states Nolan nowhere in sight. So where was he? He wasn't floating in the water. He wasn't on the shore. If he had, hold on, Dave, to Joe Scott Morgan, if he had drowned, wouldn't he be floating in the water?
Perhaps. I've seen bodies in the immediate that will go directly to the bottom. And there are those that do in fact float. So a lot of it is going to depend upon the temperature of the water many times. A lot of it's going to depend upon, is there anything else out there that could, let's see, how can I put this, that could in fact impede the body's ability to float to the top, like beneath a boat. And as you can see, there are a lot of boats out there. So if in fact that had occurred, you can actually have bodies that will be caught beneath other vessels. I've worked cases like that where they were looking around for someone and they couldn't find them because the whole area was surrounded by vessels. And so there are a lot of elements that go into this, Nancy.
$100 to pay off to find out what you able to delay 6884, or just go online to American APR for 680 net/$99. Showing you is on page 12 of the United Cajun Navy report. It shows 3 boats and more anchored side by side. Boat number 3, the Palm Beach, and also the Triton, we believe, which is the boat that took Nolan to Horn Island. It's also the boat that reportedly leaves, according to the occupants, without Nolan. They claim they begged him to board their vessel, but he said no. Let me understand this. According, Caitlin Becker, according to the mysterious Katie, not that mysterious because her sister has posted and we've obtained her photo, we think. She says he left with his friends. They say he stayed with her. Okay, that's a problem.
Yep. That's a problem. And there are also quite a few friends that he had come out with. So the Triton that he was on, there were 3 or 4 people on that particular boat. That's the one that he had come out on, and the one that his friends say, we asked him to get back on the boat. He didn't get back on the boat. His phone was on the boat. We left. We took on water. We needed help. He said he was going to stay to talk to this mysterious, as you said, Katie. Mysterious Katie says that she talked to him for a minute. It was no big deal. Then his friends called him back, and that's where he went, and she just assumed he went back on the boat with his friends. The issue I think that we're running into here is that the friends weren't just the 4 that you're seeing right here. There were multiple boats, 3 boats full of friends that came out. So could he have been going back to a second boat full of his friends while the Triton was gone, or were they referring to the Triton itself? That, I think, is where the biggest bit of confusion lays.
Dave Mack, question. Dave Mack, Crime Stories investigative reporter, didn't at the get-go the friends on the boat state they didn't know the name of the girl? They didn't know who she was. They had never seen her before.
Yep.
I'm paraphrasing. We can look up their exact words. Then, does it turn out they're actually texting with her about where is Nolan?
Apparently, Nancy, you have to realize a couple things here, and it's getting lost in the muck and the mire is the friends. We use the term Nolan's friends that he went to Horn Island with. Well, you know what, Nancy? Many people have said that he didn't know Katie, they didn't know Katie before that day, and that Nolan just started talking to her. But now it appears that they, being the group of friends, were communicating with Katie and knew who she was, and that during the...
Then why would they say they didn't know who she was? Call her some girl, a girl.
Well, here's the problem, Nancy, is I keep hearing friends, but you realize that Nolan, he went out to Horn Island on a boat. You know, Warren Hudson has talked a lot. He's been with Officer Tatum talking about, you know, his best friend Nolan and the whole thing. But first of all, Warren did not go to Horn Island on the same boat as Nolan Wells. And we have heard over and over from parents and friends, he would, you know, run with the one that got you there, right? So Nolan went with one boat, and they expected he would return on the same boat. Yet, we're now finding out that was never the plan. He was never going back on the same boat that took him to the island. So when we talk about this group of friends, Nancy, they were scattered on 3 or 4 different boats. And we keep focusing on the one with the bilge pump problem. But now, what boat was Nolan Wells supposed to be going back to the mainland? We know he didn't ride with Warren Hudson to the island. So where was he supposed to be on?
Brian Trasher joining us, Vice President, United Cajun Navy, on the case from the very beginning. Brian, do we know the time of the CETO call made from the Triton?
We do. I don't know it off the top of my head, but I know it's been reported, and obviously the CETO would have the exact time of that recording and stuff in their archives. But it seems like it was after 3 o'clock, before 4:30, and we know that the tow was canceled because somebody got in touch with Bart Edmondson, who ended up towing the boat himself, being a good Samaritan. And of course, now that poor guy is getting, raked over the coals just for being a good, what we try to tell everybody to be neighbor helping neighbor.
Oh my God.
Now, didn't the grandpa call and cancel the tow?
Yeah, I think that I saw that report as well, and it may have been that somebody contacted him and said, hey, we got somebody to tow us. So maybe he called because he had a better signal and said, hey, they don't need it anymore. Again, these are all kind of, the things that were already out there. I don't think we included too much about that in our report because it had been reported on so much. But I also just wanted to point out, too, on the photo on page 14, this is one that we included, even though we could, there's a young man that matches Nolan's description, and I'm saying it that way because we can't verify that it's him in this picture. And he's partially in it because there's a girl blocking him, but it's a young, slender African-American male wearing blue swim trunks from what you could see in the picture. According to the person that submitted that photo, it was taken at approximately 4:50 p.m. Central Time on July 4th, which would have been after the GPS data says that the Triton had left Horn Island. Now, that's only relevant if this young man in the picture actually turns out to be Nolan. We never could verify it, but we thought it was important enough to at least include as a possibility.
Hi, guys. Nancy Grace here. Please. You are now seeing the photo that Brian Trasher from United Cajun Navy has provided on page 14 of their new timeline report. We're blowing it up. We see 1, 2, 3 at the forefront, 3 white females in bikinis, 1 white male walking along. Now, beside the woman in the bikini on the right, I see 2 people. One looks like a female furthest away, but between the white female and the other female, there is an African-American male. That does not look like Nolan Wells to me.
Too dark.
Okay, I'm going to have to bring in NASA to enhance this. Brian Trasher, does this guy have facial hair? That's not Nolan.
I mean, again, we couldn't verify it, but we could tell that it was an African-American male on the beach wearing blue swim trunks. We thought that was enough to say, okay, it's possible, but we did
Those
like
are
you
dark
said.
blue.
I mean, the skin tone,
Aren't those deep dark blue?
it looks like it, but Nancy, I don't know if this picture's been enhanced. I don't know if it's been filtered. You know what I'm saying? So again, that's the whole reason why we couldn't corroborate, but it was like, okay. And also too, this does create a good picture of a flotilla of boats. So where if we were looking for a particular one, you know, it was a good one to hang on to. So again, fully disclosing that we could not definitively say whether that was him or not. Probably not.
But we need it for the investigation. We need it. And you provided it.
Rule it out.
You got it.
Use it to rule it out.
Okay, so is this Nolan? If it is Nolan, this is at 4:50 and proves he's still on the island when the other boat, the Triton, leaves. I don't think this is Nolan. But that's just my own 2 eyes, 2020 and 2018. It needs to be enhanced. Joining us now, veteran trial lawyer out of the South Carolina jurisdiction, John Mobley, the founder of the John Mobley Law Firm. See, a lot of people would say, oh, this is a nightmare, all these witnesses. I would have a field day interviewing each witness separately. It's like a bonanza. What do you make of what you're hearing, Mobley?
Well, you know, Nancy, I got to call it like I see it. I reviewed this report in detail. I don't think it puts any points on the board. I don't think it moves the needle. If anything, I think it shows everyone that has opinions out there how difficult it is to find reliable information. Because one thing I will have to say about this report, although I didn't find it particularly useful, is that, you know, it sourced all of its information, you know, and unlike a Netflix documentary where people will form opinions on second and third hand information, it would say, this person said this, but this person didn't witness it firsthand. This person repeated what someone else said. Or it said this person made this statement on Facebook. I mean, even the digital information, the photos, those aren't reliable because number one, like they say, you know, you can't corroborate the timestamp. It could be the timestamp could be when the photo was screenshot versus taken. Or even the last one we looked at, they're saying they can't say it was reliable because it could have been enhanced, you know, with the color manipulated. So I think it just goes to show how difficult it is to find any real reliable information on this case.
Mobley, no offense, but you're wasting my time. I got 1 hour tonight, and you just wasted almost 1 minute of it. Every investigation starts somewhere. Let me just understand something. You have tried a lot of cases, right? That's what I was told.
A ton, and I won most of them.
Nothing like tooting your own horn. Bonk, bonk. That said, every investigation starts somewhere. Yes, I don't have the timestamp, but I can get the timestamp because I know about the photo.
Hey, now, peace and blessings.
You start somewhere, and then you start digging, and then you find out what time it was taken. Then you find out if it was enhanced. Then you find out, is that Nolan at 4:50 and the boat has left? You enhance that audio we keep playing. You find out if they're saying, Nolan's dead. I don't know if that's real or not. but I can find out if it's real. So for you, a trial lawyer like yourself, in your own words, won most of them, you know evidence is not handed to you, Mobley, on a silver platter, on top of a Christmas tree. You have to find it. You have to investigate it. And that is the point of this timeline from the Cajun Navy. They're giving us a plethora, a cornucopia of evidence for us to start with. What? Don't waste another minute. Don't do it.
Down a rabbit hole. It takes you down a rabbit hole of information that may not be reliable. The best thing to do is to talk
Man,
to
who is
those
paying you? Because it ain't me. We don't pay guests. Rabbit hole, my rear end. Objection, my rear end. A rabbit hole? That's like you get a list of witnesses and go, yeah, I don't have their
Monique.
addresses. Screw it. You have to find them. You have to find the people that took these pictures. You have to find the people that were on those boats after you ID the boats. Then you have to take them one by one and interview. You know what? I'm sending him to the corner and let him think about what he just said. Trasher,
Wow.
that's a tiny taste of what you're about to get. Hey, Caitlin Becker joining us, senior national correspondent, New York Post, star of NY Postcast. That's her podcast. Caitlin, what do you make of the photos and the timeline created this far by the United Cajun Navy? Come on, it's something. We've got something. We're not getting anything from the government. We don't have the autopsy. We don't have any information. Nothing. They've gone radio silent.
It's exceptionally helpful to have these things laid out in this way with coordinates and times and pulling in some of the relevant social media information while also noting that it hasn't been verified. It's giving us, I think, the most comprehensive timeline that we could possibly have. I mean, not to push back, because I feel like you push back so much on that poor man, but the rabbit hole is the internet. The rabbit hole is reading every single person's theory. This is concrete information. And when it's not concrete, it says this hasn't been verified. This is at least giving me, from an investigative standpoint as a journalist, somewhere to focus my efforts, to focus my search. The thing that stands out to me are all of the people, like you said, potential witnesses, but also how similar everyone is dressed. They're all in bathing suits, and all the boats look pretty similar to me too. So that, to me, indicates that someone who's saying, I saw this person on this boat, I saw that person on that boat, might not be super clear on that, because as I'm looking at this image, everybody kind of looks the same. All the boats kind of look the same, which does muddy the waters even more and
Lord,
makes
put her
talking
up.
to them so
I've got
critical.
to work with you before I put you on the stand, girl. No. You are not getting up there and saying, they all look the same to me. No. We would get the name of the boats. We would find who was out on the boat that day from its owner, and I would ask them who's on the boat. I would not rely, no offense, on your boozy eyesight from 30 yards away. Okay, no offense, Kate.
Nance, neither would I. Neither would I.
But there are ways to, contrary to what Mobley just blurted out, there are ways to find these witnesses and nail them down. If that photo is Nolan Wells, and it doesn't look like Nolan to me, then he's on the island at 7 p.m. Okay, now let me remind everybody that the guys on the boat, the Triton with Nolan, they're not charged with anything. They are presumed innocent. So don't be starting up the death threats and all that on them. We need them interviewed separately if they hadn't already been. Who knows what we can learn from them? Don't attack them. I want you to hear what one of them said, though, about the mysterious Katie.
I didn't wake up again until a little after 11 o'clock. And that was to my brother coming in the room being like, hey, Warren's trying to get a hold of you. Warren gets on the phone and he's just like, hey, man, he was like, hey, have you talked to Nolan? Anything else? I was like, no, I haven't talked to him, man. He was with that girl last time I knew. And he was like, okay. He was like, man, we can't get a hold of him. We don't know where he's at. And I was like, man, it's Nolan. He's probably just out somewhere with that girl. Like, get a hold of the girl, you'll probably find Nolan.
Okay, right there, I'm getting a red flag. That's from the Officer Tatum podcast, who joined us recently. That girl, the mysterious Katie. Remember, nobody who knew who she was. But then later, Dave Mack, Do we learn that one of the guys on the boat had been texting with her and knew full well who it was? Where did the name Katie come from?
Katie was known to at least one person in the group, and that leads you to believe there were certainly more. There were a number of comments publicly made by friends of Nolan that backtracking, claiming they didn't know who Katie was, had never seen her before, and then you find out, yeah, well, not only did they know her, but they were texting around about her. So there's a lot of missing information here, Nancy, and it's why you've said all along, why are these guys not on a polygraph?
Marie?
Just because we're having a lot of people coming up with a lot of different theories, I agree with Caitlin. Not every theory deserves the breath of air. It's not all true. I think it could confuse the search for justice when we're entertaining every single person who posts every single theory, even when it makes no sense. And I have to bring my friend out of probation and say that you can't, go according to every single piece of information you get. It has to make sense to warrant the investigators taking time to investigate. And the fact that they're not sharing with us, it doesn't necessarily mean that they're not doing it all. There's no law that says they have to share everything they're finding out with the public.
Hi, guys. American homeowners. The FBI has been warning about a type of real estate fraud called the fixed home equity below. And Katie, you're seeing now is a post made by Katie's sister. Katie had a convo, assumed Nolan was getting ready to get on the boat he came out in. Katie made it home on another boat. Katie assumed the friends telling him, get on, wouldn't have left without him. Okay, so he says, I'm going back with my friends. She thinks he got on the boat. The mystery girl Wells reportedly stayed behind to speak with has been identified.
Tim, good looking.
Now, at the get-go, we were told no one knew who she was. He had never met her before. He had just met her and was talking to her. But her sister provides a different account of what happened. Whenever I see a conflict in the evidence, I have a problem. This is all unfolding as we go to air tonight. We wait for that toxicology report. We wait for the autopsy to be revealed. We wait for a witness list to be produced. At this hour, reports a grand jury is convening to amass evidence, much the way the Cajun Navy did. If you know or think you know anything regarding this case, dial 228-769-3063. 228-769-3063. There's been a lot of questions regarding this number. That is the number for law enforcement. We remember an American hero, Deputy Sheriff Bradley Link County Sheriff's, Florida, just 28, gunned down in the line of duty, leaving behind a wife, now widow, Brittany. American hero, Deputy Sheriff Bradley Link. Thank you to our guests, but especially.
Okay, I got a question since we got about 1,500, 2,000 people in here across all the channels. Put a 1 in the chat if you think Nolan was killed. Put a 2 in the chat if you think it's an accident. I'm trying to see something. It's a lot of y'all in here, so they should just start pouring in. Come on, let me see what y'all got. One in the chat if you think he was killed. 2 in the chat if you think it was an accident. Woo-wee. It's an avalanche of ones. I see 2 2s, 3 2s, 4 2s, 5 6 7 2s, 8 2s, 9 2s. Somebody put 2 1. said 1 but 2 cover up. Two accidentally killed and they panicked. Okay. 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 It's still overwhelmingly 1, y'all. 3 unsure. Okay. 3 don't know. That's intelligent to say. 3, I'm waiting for the info to come out. Right? Said too many questions, not enough answers. 2, however, the cover up of the accident makes it criminal. Right. Mm-hmm. See, that's my thing, right? If it was accidental, right? Because I think there's this narrative out here where, you know, we want the white boys to be done killed Nolan Wells. Nah, it ain't like that. I think it's a summation of the 1 and the 2, right? I mean, I'm leaning more towards fight, choke out, you know what I'm saying, till unconscious or something like that, and then freak out, and then they dump the body, right? So I guess that's what I'm saying is maybe like unintentional murder. But see, I'm saying intentional because I believe if Katie was the apple of everybody's eye, there was some rage there. I mean, let's keep it real, man. We know how them folks can get over them chicks. We already know. I would be remiss if I didn't think about the things that have happened already over a chick. That's weak as hell. If you're a player, be a player. You know what I'm saying? You don't own the cat. You know what I'm saying? But we know people who willing to crash out for the kitty though. Shay, what up? So do y'all think it was a kitty crash out? Little choke 'em ups. Take swimming lessons. What makes you think black people can't swim? That's like one of the that's one of the idioticest things that I keep hear people say. Learn how to swim. A lot of people know how to swim. You know that? And ain't nobody, I mean nobody, finna even attempt or think about swimming back from the island. I don't know where y'all get that from either. I don't know where you think that drunk, high, whatever you think somebody on, or sober. I mean, ain't nobody finna try to swim back from that little island back to the spot. Like, that's dumb too. So, I mean, if y'all could just stop saying those two things, like the learn how to swim and he drowned and because that you're just insinuating that somehow Cuz thought it was a good idea to swim to the mainland. And we know that ain't the case. Especially as y'all say, drunk or high. Ain't nobody finna try that. He was young, but he wasn't a dummy. Yeah, he was young, but he wasn't a dummy. Dang, give Nolan a little credit. That's what they say. He was a great swimmer. They weren't that far from the island when Warren called the dispatch. He even said they were still near Horn Island. What does that mean? So he decided to get out. He got mad on the boat and got out and said, I'm finna swim back. What are you saying? Yeah, they be saying some dumb stuff. He was unconscious. They took him for dead and threw him in the water. How did he get unconscious, though? Nobody's seen him after the friends left and the boats being taken off the water immediately. Make the timeline look sus. Yep. Huh. A lot of D-head dummies killed him, and they're gonna pay dearly. She said, it doesn't matter how good of a swimmer you are. The ocean is unforgiving, just like that Lake Erie, as you can take your life. Yeah, and 1.2 say, yeah, for sure. I mean, you think somebody who grew up on the Gulf don't know about the hazards of the Gulf? Do you think that's the case? They could have been punched. He could have been hit behind the head. More examinations need to happen. Yeah, well, I mean, but then there you go, Tim. But see, or not Tim, but Mr. I forgot, didn't see your name, but then there goes the questions. Then why they just wouldn't send the neck and all of that, just get it on out the way. You know? If it was drowning or accidental or all of this fun stuff that you guys try to make up, the one true thing about it is we know it's not none of that, because if it was, they would have said it already. And it would be over. Everybody be dusting their hands off and be like, nothing to see here, you know, show's over. But we know that didn't happen. People lie every day, B. Straight up. If he drowned, why lawyer up? There's too many people out there for that to be for real. Yes. Y'all know what the biggest issue is right now? I'm finna talk about the elephant in the room. Do y'all want to hear about the elephant in the room? Y'all want to talk about the elephant in the room? Because there's definitely an elephant. Terry, FBA for life. Look, the elephant in the room is this. And it's really plain and simple. It's really plain and simple, guys. Cayenne, it's really, really, really plain and simple. White people are uncomfortable being the national subject of ridicule. To sit here and accuse those cornstarch rangers of wrongdoing and not believing what they said, but not on. See, it's not only the not believing what they said. It's not only the accusing them of what they did. It's the way that collectively we are speaking about how we look at them with a side eye. No longer are we scared to say the quiet part out loud. Like, nah, we looking at all y'all like that, and you got to prove that you ain't like that. And they don't like to be on the defensive. They think that they should have the benefit of the doubt that they don't give other people. Like, okay, if they conspired, if they colluded all together, all the 30 people on the 3 boats, so what? That's not all of us. We're not all low down devils like that. And then you be looking like, well, why we got so many cases when people go around y'all folks? Something happened. That doesn't matter. Those are just individual little isolated incidents. That doesn't have anything to do with the group. Yeah, it got a lot to do with the group. Y'all don't like how your group is looking right now. And y'all feeling it. Y'all feeling it. But we feel it all the time. We deal with it all the time. Y'all just dealing with it. You know how we all lazy and we all EBT and we all don't got no father and we all eat chicken and we all love watermelon, right? And we all can't swim. Y'all doing it right even right here in the chat. Get swim lessons. So you know how we all those things. Well, cope harder. Thanks for the jewels, boo. Cope harder, because that's y'all right now. Y'all got to deal with how y'all folks make y'all people look. And y'all don't want to do that. You want to know, y'all want to know why? Let me tell y'all why it's like that. You can tell it's like that because every time one of them school pew-pews happen, or mass pew-pew or whatever, the first, not the last, but the first thing they say out they darn ass mouth is they was crazy and they was a lone wolf. They distance themselves from the action of the individual. But it's so many of y'all that was in on this little thing that just happened. Thanks for them jewels. It was so many of y'all that was in on this thing that happened that everybody looking at y'all funny. It ain't, the real ones always been looking at you funny, but I'm talking about y'all even getting the regular colonized mind Negroes looking at you funny, questioning you now. Y'all don't like to be questioned. Y'all don't like the stigma. Huh? Y'all don't like the stigma of being devilized. That's what y'all don't like. Look, let me tell y'all something. When I start putting these little things up on Facebook, right? These little devils, because I know some of y'all ain't seen that. I know my core people that been through it. But when I start putting these devils up, I started noticing in the comments. I'm talking about these these reels are still rising to this day. These memes are rising, and you know who's all in the chat? You know who's all on the comments? A whole bunch of little evil cracker devils. Look, now, and I want y'all to notice something. Tristan, look how many likes and look how many comments that Tristan got. 35 likes, 21 comments. When you talk about that boy Bart, though, 1.8K likes, 1,000 comments, 693 shares. Look, they over here going through a whole thing over here in this comment section. Allow me to go through this real quick for y'all. Let me just show y'all how they don't like what's going on right now. I'm gonna move. Let me move my little thing. Let me see. I don't know. Yeah. Dang, I can't really move it so y'all can see it. Hold on. Let me see. Let me see if I can make some adjustments because they don't like. See, okay. I'm gonna just read them for you. Hold on. It says, either way, okay, this is Matt. Either way, when Cito asks everyone on the boat, he should have said no. Nolan Wells stayed behind, right? Okay, I can feel that. Despite his claims, all they got to do is trace the cell phones. He says, what they weren't was his true friends. Oh, I got more comments. I gotta find them. Now it's funny when I be responding to them, but they in there. It's a lot of people that actually agree with me calling these people devils. But like this one, it says, and the entertainment continues. I said, and a triggered devil keep posting. He's like, yeah, but hell isn't. Change your mindset or you can meet the monkey as you all love to call his people. The one who came to this earth as Christ. Oh, he trying to call Jesus black? Wow. He said, I know God has a sense of humor. Had to, because you're in for a surprise when your judgment day comes. And before you bother to say he's not real, save it. The reason I know he's real is because for years I've worked in nursing homes, and those who had, I didn't read this. I haven't read this, by the way, but this nigga wrote a whole damn novel. I mean, these folks is over there really upset. I'm talking about upset. Oh, here we go. Listen, you guys are opening up yourself for a big lawsuit. I just researched. They have arrested nobody for the murder or death of that young man. Nobody has been arrested. You all better stop, because you know damn right well on Facebook you can be found. And that man's family, right? They will sue you. Stop paying attention to this and do your own research. I mean, they over there triggered off this devil stuff. I said, seeing your people in your true form bothers you, huh? Shut your bitch ass up. Shut your bitch ass up. I'm saying, I'm. Hey, if y'all can't see the comments, that means y'all need to go on the landscape version, because you probably on the portrait version. The portrait version only show you a sliver of the screen, but if you're on the landscape, you can see the comments. All you got to do is click on my face or the channel, and then go to the channel and get on the landscape version. It say, Bart's family has hired an attorney to sue the people defaming him online. It's going to be funny watching the people who are making up stuff about him getting sued and having judgments against them forever. They are mad, y'all. Like this really bothering them. Like, you know, if you wasn't really a devil and this didn't really, you know, get your goat, you would just scroll past this on social media. But these people take the time, and you see I'm laughing at all of them. I'm laughing, giving it to them. Like, you buster, hold on. There's some good ones. Y'all are something else for real. What did I say to him? Who and for what for? Said, wow, I thought the Bible said da. Okay, hold on. I'm trying to get to the ones where they be trying to get at me. Cause I don't be stopping. Said, cover up in sleepy southern town, blah, blah, blah. It's not an island, it's a sand barge. When the tide is high, it's 4 feet underwater. Hundreds and hundreds of people have died, have drowned in this area. But pictures of Nolan over there in the group of 115 black people doesn't raise any questions. They went home. People stayed there. Nobody noticed he was floating in the water over there where the 115 black people were partying. Sounds like black people took out black people. Y'all see this? This is real out here. This is real out here in these streets. That's a lot to put on somebody's post. So what I know I put something. Let me see what my little snapback was. I said, sounds like you a devil. And what else I say? We must have went back and forth because I ain't playing with him. He said, well, it helped knowing facts before you jump to conclusion. I said, it helps keeping your devil mouth shut when sounding triggered. He ain't say nothing else after that. Let me see. But I'm just I also wanted to go through. I also wanted to go through the Ocean Springs, little site, cause man, they over there having a izzy fit. Look, even white people like loser, mad cause you're is a loser mad cause your girl like the black guy. Typical. Jealousy has been around since Cain and Abel. And look what happened. What she say? Look what happened. He was marked by God, marking him to be a devil. That's the white people with cowboy hats going on. They can feel it. That's another thing too, y'all. Y'all ain't never seen so many of them folks. Y'all ain't never seen so many of them folks speaking about what they people done did either. That's another thing. That's another thing we can't overlook. A lot of them people speaking up on what they people been doing. Dang, I can't even. Oh, here we go. Somebody's getting sued. That's what they want so bad. What did I say to her? I must have said something. What did I say to Nancy Land? What did I say to her? Why is it going so slow? I said, Nancy Land, devil, you wish I was. Oh, she came back. I must didn't see this clap back. Because look, she put that a week ago. I put it 5 days ago. I don't care when it is. If I got some time, I'm clapping. I'm clapping at you. She said, Jay Lava, I don't really care. Just saying the lawsuit had already started. If you don't really care, then why, lady? why don't you actually get jobs and quit this retarded stuff? Right? What did I say to him? I know I said something good. What did I say? I got to see what I said. Oh, I said, shut up, honky. Shut up, honky. What else I say? Told that dude, shut up, honky. Cause I'm clapping. I don't care. So then he put up this, Jay Lava. We should spend some of that $600,000 on Carmelo's defense. F that ninja. Like, you see what kind of stuff that be in their heads? What kind of meme is that? We should spend some of this 600. They didn't even get the money. They didn't even. They be just uninformed. That's why they can't be witty and funny, because they be ill-informed, right? So guess what I put? Laughing my ass off. Dead. I'm dead. Who is that? Austin. Yeah, I'm on it like that. I'm getting them. I don't care. I don't care one bit. I'm going all the way there with you. Oh, you want to talk about Austin and his parents? I mean, Carmelo and his parents on a post that had to do with Nolan Wells. You see what I'm saying? On a post that had to do with Nolan Wells, he put up a meme about Carmelo Anthony, which really let you know was getting a GOAT. They can't believe a black man stood up against a white terrorist and eliminated the threat. They are pissed about that. Just like they keep bringing up George Floyd 99 years later because the cop went to jail for killing the black man. They still salty about that. Yeah, but I hit him with the Austin, I'm dead, little buster. It's a lot of these comments. I could do this all day because I do it all day. When I ain't on here, I'm on my other social media platforms giving them the beeswax. Better know it. Better know it. Who is this? Eric Matthew, he put up cap. I know I put something right there on him. I know I said something to this nigga. Hold on. Let me see what I said to Cuz real quick. But anyway, y'all, I'm gonna come back. I got another video to do, and I was thinking about doing another late night live tonight with the crime. We was on the crime last night, y'all. Y'all missed the crime night. Crime was popping last night. Foxy, what's up? Yeah, man. Hey, listen, I'm going there with these fools. Straight up. I it's no holds barred with me. Don't put no stupid memes up or say nothing stupid to me, because I got you. I'm going right there with you. I'm gonna make you say stop. I ain't even jumped in my inboxes yet. Matter of fact, I put up the other day, I had put up you ain't really official until you start getting death threats. And this is why I got death threats, because I got they folks all around looking like all the evil devils. I don't care. Come get at me. Well, first of all, I'm at work. This is a job, too. Buster. And my kids live with me, so I don't have to go far. Go Flower Rangers. Yes. We exploring Flower Rangers tonight. Boy, last night was it was off the chain last night. It was some good cases last night. If y'all like that late night crime, come tap in. I did some crime earlier today too, so go check out that crime video I did earlier. But yeah, we own it like that. Gloria, thank you for the jewels. I'm telling you. I see how you get down. Yeah, I'm not playing no games with them. I don't care. You ain't got to like me, homeboy. Cause they say my analytics is tight. Straight up. Anyway, let's see, it's 6:30. I think I can probably get back in here. I was trying to say 7:30, but it might be 8. I think it might be 8 o'clock, y'all. I'm gonna come on back and do a 8 o'clock joint. Let the people speak, and then I think we do the late night with Lava. It's supposed to start at 11:30, but I might come in before that. Straight up, they can come right on over here. It was a couple of them tapped in last night from Facebook when we was watching the crime, but they didn't get the response that they wanted, so they dipped out. The crime is kind of good. It ain't really no trolls in the crime. I wonder why. Have y'all not? I've been doing other topics too, just to see if it's this Nolan Wells thing. Man, they got people on this Nolan Wells thing, y'all. Oh yeah. I come under the study under the teachers of Tariq Nasheed and Professor Black Truth. You will get got. Jason Black. Oh, I'm gonna get you. And I'm gonna let you talk it and walk it out. You know what I said I was gonna do? I said I was gonna open up the thing. Okay, so in the next joint, I'm gonna put the link in the description, and then anybody that want to come up and talk, we're gonna let you come up. Trolls and all. Trolls can come up. Everybody can come up. All y'all can come up. Whoever want to come talk, whoever want to come say something tonight, I'm gonna let you come up. Put the little thing in there so you can come on and get on into it. All right. So we'll see who working tonight. They probably can't show their faces. And then this is separate. See, now we're gonna see what them trolls really talking about. Yeah, that N-word protest. Ooh, I can't wait to see how that's gonna go down. I don't think Minnesota sweet, homeboy. Jason, he might get rolled up in Minnesota, family. We really don't get down like that. White people know how to act in Minnesota. Why you think they call it Minnesota nice? Oh, I'm gonna come back in. I'm gonna try to do it let me see, it's 6:30 right now. I try to schedule before 30 minutes. So if I can hurry up and get it done, I can have it scheduled by like 7:30. But I was thinking like maybe 8 if I miss my little deadline. Maybe 7:15. Let me see, what time is it right now? 7:45. I might could get it in at 7:15, because if we do 7:15, I can go to about 9:30, 10ish, and then we could do the late night, straight night, because I want to make sure that no matter what, I'm done by like 2 o'clock. So however I got to get it in between them hours, then we can do it. Y'all like our little smooth kick it music? This is the music I was listening to on the crime joint. Oh, for my other members, y'all might not have been. For the other members, hold on. I think I got a new roll call song, y'all. I think I got a new roll call song. Now, that don't mean we got to change it up. But I did find another hype beat that I did not put out or that I didn't put out that we can rock with. I was waiting for it was late last night. I premiered it last night, but I knew all my folks wasn't here. But we got a new little roll call beat. Should we do a roll call? Y'all want to do a roll call on the new beat? Y'all want to do a roll call on the new beat? Ones, roll call on the new beat. Let me see some ones. Come on, y'all. Let me see them ones. Yeah, that's hey, I'm gonna tell y'all a story about that while y'all voting on the roll call. That beat, I can tell y'all. That beat is sentimental. I call it sad song. Because I remember like when me and the mother of my children was breaking up, and I was pretty sad. So I went to the crib and I made this beat. This beat is like, y'all wouldn't even believe how old this beat is. This beat goes back to like No Lie. Like No Lie, No Lie. This beat probably go back to like, I damn near want to say like 2012. I made this beat in 2012. The one we listen to right now, probably like 2012. On the MPC, if y'all know what that is. 2000. But I was sad, so I made this. All right, come on. This the new one, y'all. Hey. Let it simmer. This is a good roll call beat right here, y'all. Hey. 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 Come on. Hey. Can we get them roll calls going on real quick? We got the Bay Area in the heezy. Yes, sir. We got Gino up in here. Yeah. 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 Not for the roll call? Okay. But you like it though, okay. I can respect that. 757 in here. Memphis up in here. We got Buffalo. We got New Rochelle. We got Jersey. That's right. Philly up in here. Oh, yes. Norfolk, Virginia. Phoenix, Arizona. NYC. We got Indiana. We got Boston. I was just thinking because it's a little hype, but it ain't got the same feel. Is y'all telling me this a different feel? Is that what y'all telling me? Is that what y'all telling me? Is that what y'all telling me? It's got to be that funk. Yeah, this is different though. Yeah. This is way different though. Yep. 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 Hey. This is different though. Houston, Texas up in this joint. Hey. Yeah, this is different. This is it right here. Yeah, I make beats, bro. Philly. Love you. Mail in the house. Oh yeah. Hey, this dude make you go stupid though. Allentown, stand up. DC up in here. You know, I was born in Chicago. It's in my blood. Money Mike. Be one to the family. Hey, okay, all right. Hey, it's a totally different feel. That's definitely that's definitely a roll call beat. That's definitely it's like communion. It's like church of a sort. You know what I'm saying? All that good hooting and hollering like you really want to see. You know what I'm saying? Without the cringe. That's it right there. Yeah, that's it. Nah, that's permanent. That's extra stone. That's extra stone. But I do this. I just be calling this my little talk music. You know what I'm saying? When you want to get somber and you want to say some things. But yeah, y'all. I'm gonna blank out real quick. I'm gonna come on back. Give me it's 45 now. I probably could do it by 7:30. I can get it in there by 7:30. I hit you off by 7:30. I'll be right back by 7:30. I'm gonna come on back. I got you now. Now, for all the new peoples, I got 4 words for you. I need you to go ahead and subscribe for the vibes, like for the spike, comment your comment, share if you care about Get Black Empowerment everywhere. Please do that on the platforms that we are on, Jones. And just to bring it all the way home, I got love, peace, blessings, and aloha. I'm out the Doha. For sure, you already know. Yeah, good.